You know, what's going on with centrifuges in North Korea? What's the story there? What's the difference between plutonium and uranium? Which should we be more worried about? Can they really make an atomic bomb?
There's considerable evidence that when people sat alone in rooms and read, they read aloud.
Suddenly, when you've got a potato and you trade it for a table, that's the mystery. How can two unlike things be made equivalent somehow?
I go to students all the time. They want to learn from the very best people, so the Discovery Courses enable them to do just that, to have a tremendous educational experience from someone who is an expert and someone who is a distinguished teacher in their area.
You discover things you would not have discovered. I think that's why they're called Discovery Courses. Because then you would have not seen, how wonderful music can be, how wonderful literature can be, or science if you're not a science major, or math if you're a humanities major. So I think that's why Discovery Courses are a great idea.
College should be a place where you discover, where you explore, where you get exposed to a zillion different things. And you don't know enough of the world to know what's going to excite you, what's going to be the rest of your life. Discovery Courses are all about giving the students a broad education. You'll find these are always the opposite.
Very often undergraduates, especially at a big school like Berkeley, think of their educations very much in vocational or professional terms. And I think the Discovery Courses have a chance to give students access to the great ideas of modern scholarship.
What the Discovery Courses do is they throw them up in your face, and they also say, we're not only going to show you this new discipline, but we're going to give you some of the best minds on campus.
The whole thing is working the way we're talking about, is a kind of circuit.
I like to think that the faculty members who are participating in this program have something like a missionary zeal. They feel that what they are doing inside of their discipline is so important that they don't want to teach just the students who are majoring in that area, but they want their knowledge to be communicated to people outside of their discipline.
I go home, I work really hard, I write lectures, I find myself going, wow, 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 and then I get to come and talk to students about that. Sometimes students themselves get it too. And not only do they get it, they have a kind of intellectual explosion. They don't know what that means, they don't even know why it happened, but they say, oh wow, wow, that's incredible.
One perfect example of a Discovery course is Stephen Booth's course on poetry. He's going to change their views on poetry and probably change their views on the subjects that they're studying as well.
Human-made things play with coherence and incoherence. This one plays with them as if it were Christmas morning and this were a brand new.
In Stephen Booth's class, I discovered how to really appreciate literature. He shows you why people talk about Shakespeare all the time. Why Milton's considered the greatest, or one of the greatest English poets. And I mean, for a professor to show you that, to understand what greatness is in a sense, I think that's terrific.
We talked a little about him, and there was a really good interview with him on NPR. And then
when you take a class like the ones that Kathy Moran teaches, which are incredibly interdisciplinary in nature, what you're doing is you're taking all of these things that seem like they have nothing to do with each other, and you're linking them in a way that really makes your educational career make sense.
I think that the Discovery Courses are trying to reinforce the notion of a liberal arts education so that a student knows that I'm going to get an excellent course from the English department, I'm going to get an excellent course from sociology, and I'm going to have an excellent professor in physics or astronomy.
Liberal arts education is like art, it's like poetry, it's something that is its own reward.
These Discovery Courses are a sign of, I think, the commitment on the part of the college to become a focus for undergraduate education in a very, very powerful way.
And I think what's great about the Discovery Courses is they're a way of saying, we're paying attention to your needs. We're paying attention to the fact that that we know that you have to fulfill these breadth requirements, and that often enough you're going to think that they're useless, or that you're going to think that you just have to get them done because it's another hurdle. And what we're trying to do is show you that there's something a lot more useful than that.
The L&S Discovery Courses are a unique opportunity to get an education the way it should be, the way it was meant to be, a way of literally discovering. It's very well titled. If I were a student, I would find these Discovery Courses very attractive, just the sort of things I was looking for.
you.